You are listening to the People Centric Podcast, where we talk through the toughest challenges that people face at work and give practical advice to fixing those challenges. Thanks for joining our movement to create workplaces that are happier, healthier, aligned, and empowered by putting people at the center of all that we do.
Don't screw it up. Okay. Hey, people-centric leaders. I just threw Diana off. This is funny. So Diana was going to kick us off today, and this fits for our topic. So stay with me. And we hit the little recording button. It says recording in progress, and then it starts recording. And so Diana was going to kick it off, and Diana just went through like I don't know, it seemed like a 30-second like dead silence looking in the camera, trying to think about what she was going to say. And then when she was ready, she hit the record button. And so me being supportive, as soon as she hit the record button, it says recording in progress. I said, don't screw it up. And then Diana lost it and
I
started
lost
laughing.
it. Now I'm like, well, I'm gonna screw it up. I don't know. I'm messed up now.
You were going to start off. We were just having some fun at work.
Having some fun,
So
which is our
Diana, kick us off. Start us off here. Go ahead.
yes. Hello, people-centric leaders. Having fun at work is our topic. That's what we're talking about today. And the reason we're talking about this is because I listened to this podcast that everyone should listen to. It's so fun. It's called A Good Hang. It's with Amy Poehler. And it's just, she talks to celebrities and, just hangs out with them and has a good hang. And it genuinely is like a good time. So anyway, I was listening to this podcast and Amy Poehler was a part of this show called Parks and Recreation. Parks and Rec is an excellent show. It's hilarious. It's one of the best comedies on TV in the last, 100 years, probably. It's a great show. But anyway, she was telling the story about her and her castmates were on set somewhere and they took a picture, and the picture looked like it was from another television show. They were all in like dressy suits and they all looked professional. And she was like, someone made the comment, oh my gosh, this looks like we are on a courtroom law drama and not Parks and Recreation. And that one sentence sent them spiraling. And they decided to create this courtroom law drama to the extent that each person in the photo had a character name and background, and they wrote a script for it, and they shot a trailer for it. And at one point, Paul Rudd was supposed to be in it, but then he was filming something else. So instead of scrapping the whole thing, they called Dylan McDermott, and he came and did the trailer. It's like a whole thing. And they just thought that it was super fun. And they were having fun with it. It's called Philly Justice. The show that they filmed was called Philly Justice. And then they put it away and they were like, no one's ever going to see this, but man, that was fun. And that was hilarious. And we had a good time. But then 15 years later, Amy has this podcast and people were like, what? You shot something called Philly Justice during Parks and Recreation? Like, we all want to see it. So they showed it. It was amazing, super fun. But she was talking about how they were filming this very popular show with a high stakes and doing their real work while simultaneously going hard after something really fun and silly that they all just really wanted to do. And I thought, man, what a cool case for fun at work. And I thought we should unpack it a little bit. What do you guys think?
What a waste of time. What a waste of film and money and talent.
Film?
Oh my gosh. Waste of film. Yeah.
This was in 1987. We're okay.
Have you seen how big those rolls of film are? They're huge. They're hard to store. They don't make them a lot.
I don't. Yeah.
That's good. So I like that story. And so we were thinking about that as is it okay to have fun at work? Is it okay to do that? Is that productive? Is it bad for production? Is it good for culture? I know a lot of managers. If you're listening and you own a company or you're a manager, I hear several of you going like, you know what? I pay you to work. You can go home and have fun. That's the fun thing. Come to work and do the things that you do at work. So we thought we would start by sharing, like, do we do stuff like that at People Centric and share some of the stories of some of the things that we've done. And we can just talk about like the effect on our team, maybe a few of the things that we've seen our clients do and share some of that. And then we'll get into the universal debate of like, is work for work and fun for fun? And should those things interface with each other? And what does it do in terms of productivity? What does it do for culture? And so you just heard Diana, who stumbled through the opening but managed to get through it. She did okay. You
Thank
did great, Diana.
you.
I think you did fantastic. How's that
I'm
for
never opening again. I hate it.
never opening again? I thought you did really good.
I was
Bethany, what would you have done differently on that? I'm just kidding. No.
no,
And Bethany's with
I'm not
us. Go
gonna do
ahead.
that. No, I was thinking, I was like, you know, it'd be really funny as if we had this big reveal like they did, where it was like, you made this whole Philly Justice, and we were like, actually, now that you mention it, we do consulting for like clowns too, and it's this whole other thing because we just thought it just seemed fun to consult clowns. I don't know, like something weird like that.
I did,
So fun, but
now
that's
my
not true. That's not something we do, but maybe we should. It sounds fun.
dang it, Bethany. Now like at least 80% of my brain is working on clown consulting. And what would that look like? And the first thing I thought of is like the travel costs would be low because we could have them come to us and it would only take one car, no matter how many people they sent. That was the first thing I thought is like they could just rent like a little tiny Volkswagen Bug and then, send 20,
Yeah.
30 here.
Like depending on the clowns, like probably be short conversations or no talking, maybe no talking.
See, but then the first thing I thought was like, oh, when we consult, a lot of people we get very deep. And so we'd have like sad clowns, and those are creepy.
There, yeah, or sad, or they're just sad.
I don't like the sad clown. It creeps me out. It's too many bright colors filled with sadness.
The other question is, how many clowns do you know? I know two. Well, I did know two. I don't know if they still do the clown.
We're going deeper into the clowns. I love this. Okay, Bethany. So who are the two clowns that you know?
Why do you know two
Can't
clowns?
expose. I don't know, Diana. I didn't decide for them to be clowns.
Who do you know that are clowns? You don't have to name them by name, but
I
how do
grew
you know
up.
two
I
clowns?
had a friend, and her parents did clowning on the side. I don't know why.
When this is over, I have so many questions.
Me too.
You know what? Every listener right now has so many questions. They're like, is this real? Do you do a professional podcast on this? And we do talk about roughly what direction we're going, but we did not talk about the clowns thing. And we've gotten surprisingly deep into the clowns conversation. So I'm going to steer us away from the clowns. I'm going to say send out the clowns, not send in the clowns. We're going to send out the clowns. And let's talk about some ways, how do we clown around at work other than just the clowning that everybody gets to hear us do on the podcast, which we try to sprinkle in a little bit for every episode. Share some examples. What's the most fun you guys have had at work?
Bethany, you brought up the segues. You should talk about the segues. I forgot about the segues.
The segues were fun. We went to well, so I'll just say I feel like our team does a pretty good job of just like we do retreats and things like that where we're just having fun. We do try to have, some business conversations at the beginning of it. And then we throw it all out the door and then we go have fun.
Bethany, I'm not gonna lie, you put business in quotation marks, and I'm a little offended.
No.
Just a tiny bit, but it's fine.
It really
It's fine.
is business conversations. I don't know why I did it in quotes. Anyways, and then we go do some other fun things on top of the fun business things that we talked about before. And one of the things we did one time was because we're in Southwest Missouri, we went to Dogwood Canyon, which is close by. It's really pretty down there. One of the things they have though is you can rent Segways. And our team rented Segways. And man, riding a Segway by yourself is fun, but riding it with the people that you work with is even more fun because it's not like initially intuitive how to move those things. So it takes you a little bit. So people are like starting and stopping, and then people go really fast and then they like don't know how to slow down. And so I feel like we were just kind of cracking up at each other on those things. I think somebody fell that wasn't a part of our group. I think she like fell off of it And she was okay. So I think we did laugh a little bit about that one. But anyways,
Well, the guy had said, "Here's what you're going to do that's going to make you fall off of it," and then she did the exact thing that
she
he
did.
said that she was going to do that make her fall off of it. So,
Yeah.
and then she did not hurt herself, and we
So
did chuckle a little bit
it
and
was
judged it. But yeah, that was a fun day. We went, we ate, and it was a little bit like a business thing too, because they asked us to kind of come and check out the place. So we were working with them, so they did do that. But we were like, can we spend like the full day and just do like a little mini team retreat there?
it's
And
fun.
we ate buffalo, and yeah, we did.
I did.
Diana just shook her head. I did. I had a buffalo burger. It was delicious.
Love burger. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for lunch. But Diana, you look horrified. You're also muted. You have to use your unmute button.
You look angry, but we can't hear how angry you are.
I don't remember. I don't think I ate buffalo. And it seems wrong to eat the buffalo when they're like on site. I don't know.
Okay. Well, you're just being an innocent bystander, is what you were doing. See, puns are fun too. Puns are fun. You should see Diana's face. It is not excluding fun. Excluding fun. It's not exuding fun. There we go. That's the words.
I'm just gonna remute myself.
You just remute yourself. That's great. I'll just take this one. I'll take this one on fun. Yeah. So we had a really, really good time with that. Like, I think that was really fun. What are some others? So like this week we're doing a team retreat. Like this week as we speak, Diana's going to come and hang out with us. If you follow us a lot, like Diana lives far away from the rest of like the rest of us, and we miss Diana. So Diana and Jimmy are coming into town, and they're going to hang out, and we're going to do lots of stuff. And what are we like? What's on our agenda? What things are we doing for our agenda?
Ashley made the agenda and she did an awesome job. And so I don't exactly remember everything, but we're gonna go
antique shopping.
antique shopping. Yeah, we're just like gonna show up at an antique store and like peruse. Don doesn't look at me. You're gonna love it. I know it. You're gonna get hooked. It's gonna be so fun. Are we playing mini golf? I think we're gonna play mini
We're
golf.
playing mini golf.
Yeah. If it's too hot, we might end up at Andy B's. I don't know. We've talked about that.
Okay.
Bowling.
That's a bowling. If you don't know that, that's a bowling place.
It's like
a
bowling / arcade.
Yeah, think adult arcade.
Yeah.
Like it's like
An adult Chuck E. Cheese without the creepy mouse.
without the animation.
Yeah.
animatronics.
And we are going to try to do a cave, which will be fun. And we
We're gonna
always
do a
eat
cave
really
tour.
well too.
We do eat. We're gonna go over to Bethany's house and
Yeah.
have like a bonfire and a s'more bar and hang out at your house.
A gourmet s'more bar, not just a s'more bar. A gourmet s'more bar.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a bar. A gourmet s'mores. We're gonna have gourmet s'mores. I don't know what a gourmet s'more is. It's already got great ingredients on it, but we're gonna find out. It's gonna be amazing.
We're gonna up it. We're gonna up
Yeah.
the game on the s'mores. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I also like about our team is like we also just take time in our meetings. I know we've talked about like on Mondays we have our team meetings, and we'll spend some time like opening the meetings. When we haven't seen each other, especially if we've been traveling and stuff, people just have stories to tell and we'll share. And we always to get a little bit of time for that kind of stuff. And we'll tell jokes. And just this week, Philip was getting out of his car in the parking lot, and I could tell he was just super, super focused. And I was just going to walk into the work with him because I was on the other side of the parking lot. And I just walked up to him and I realized he didn't see me. So then I thought, well, I'll walk up to him and I'll just be standing right next to him when he turns around because he didn't see me or hear me. And he turned around just to see somebody like walking quickly for him. And he got, some people are fight and flight. He's flight. Yeah, he got scared. He jumped or he laughed pretty hard. So I mean, it's funny thing. We just do things like that. That happens almost on a daily basis. And if you heard on the podcast, if you've listened to this for a while, there's usually some joshing around, as I like to say, right? Joking around.
We joke around. We have fun together. We use a lot of puns. Yeah, all of those things. You need to stop creeping up on people. You're gonna get hit someday.
Well, today Stephanie was out in the same parking lot and I parked in the same spot. And Stephanie was also getting out of her car. And Stephanie also wasn't paying attention to her surroundings. And I had the opportunity to replicate the Philip experience. Instead, I went the other direction and I stood on the other side of my car, far side from the parking lot. And I quietly just said, I'm like, hey, I'm over here. I don't want to startle anybody when you get out of the car. I'm just walking up this, I'm just going to work. I don't want to jump anybody. Which then Stephanie said that was even more creepy and scarier than just jumping out and scaring her. She's like, why don't you just say hi, like good morning? Just say normal things instead of saying weird things. You don't have
A
to creep up
normal
on
human.
somebody. You don't have to say I'm not going to attack you. Just say like hi.
I'm not going to attack you feels threatening. Like, hey, I'm not thinking anything horrible. I'm not going to bludgeon you to death and murder you.
But I'm saying the opposite of attacking you. I'm saying I'm not going to do that.
Nope, doesn't work.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the question is that a waste of our time or not? Because here's the thing, like Bethany earlier said, like business, and she put it, if you can see us on YouTube, but you can catch us on YouTube, by the way, you can go check this out. And a lot of people don't watch us on YouTube. I was just looking at the YouTube numbers. A lot of you are listening to us on audio while you're mowing the lawn or driving to work or doing the things, which is awesome. But go check us out on YouTube sometime because we make funny expressions, and sometimes Bethany will put business in quotes so that we can make a profit, which I'm also making in quotes, so that we can pay a salary in quotes for people, right? So I know some of you are like, that's not in quotes, those are real. Like, so what's the balance of this too? Is this something that we just do? Is it a benefit for our employees? Does it help the culture? Does it help productivity? What are our thoughts? Go.
I mean, that's a lot. I think I'll start off by saying I have not always been a proponent for fun.
No,
You're right. I know.
no.
Fun.
I'm a very, fun in quotes. I'm a very, I don't know. I'm focused person, driven, focused, annoying. I don't know what you want to call it.
Boring. Yeah.
Boring, plain, vanilla. I don't know what you want to call
What did you say before we jumped on your version of fun was going to be? You said like we were just talking about fun. Just to set this up for everybody, we're like talking about fun. Like what are some of the fun things that we do? And like it opened up the door to the whole spectrum of fun. And Diana came up with go.
I transferred my Google Doc that I've been using for years to like keep track of my job and all the things I have to do. I transferred it to Planner and it was like really fun.
Yeah, so that's
The start.
That's where
After
we're starting. We're going to give you a list of 10 things just like that to have fun at work.
that.
Number 1, transfer.
I would like that. Thank you. So I think I have not always been a proponent for fun, right? There are things that I don't know. If you wanted to go swimming, I'd be like, nope, no, thank you. There are certain things that I'm like, it's not fun. I don't want to do that. I don't know. I'm weird and pale. So there's just like certain things that I'm like, that's not fun for Diana. It's not a thing. So I've not always been the most fun individual, but I will say that when we open up space to just chat, it's becomes fun. And I didn't go into like Monday morning meetings to just like download all the stuff that we're talking about and like catch up on each other's lives. I don't say like, let's have fun, right? I don't go into it thinking that, but it does end up that way a lot of the times.
Yeah, it's not an agenda item. The first 5 minutes are set aside for fun, but that's kind of what we do.
Yeah, because we see forced fun at work a lot. Like we work with clients who are like, I want our culture to be more fun. So we're going to do a fun thing and we're going to play a game and then you make everybody play it and no one's having fun. So why is forced fun not fun? I guess is the question.
Well, I had a lot of forced fun at one of my previous jobs. It was an intense job. We all worked very many hours. I mean, like 5 a.m. to 6 p.m., very many hours. We were all stressed out to the max. And then like, I don't know, once every year, they'd be like, okay, we're going to work until 3. And then at 3, we're going to get in a limo and we're going to go on a scavenger hunt and it's going to be 1,000,000 degrees. And you're going to have to do this thing after you've worked a full day of work. And now you have to spend more time with these people when really we still have more work we should be doing and it's exhausting. And that was never as fun as I think.
And was it ever like set up to where it's like, well, and if you leave, then you're not going to get paid.
There was no option to leave. There was no opt out. It was like, you are getting the limo. You're done.
Yeah.
And you think the phrase "get in the limo" would be really fun, but we were all like, "Oh my God, no!" It was awful.
So I hear sometimes I hear people, listeners, and I know that that's not how our technology works, but I hear people like sometimes driving in their car, like asking a question in the middle of our conversations, and I just heard the question, is your retreat mandatory? Like we're having a retreat this week. Is our retreat mandatory? And is it forced fun?
Bethany, you should answer.
It's a good question. Is it mandatory? Secretly, maybe it is. But nobody, I think it's really how we present it. And we also, I think, do a good job of like looping people in to say, hey, we're planning to have a retreat. Diana's coming into town. What do we want to do, guys? And I think everybody like gets involved and shares ideas. And then somebody like actually puts it all together. But like we're very open about like how do we want the days to look like? Where do we want to go eat? Like what sounds fun to everybody? And I think that helps make it more, I don't know, more like something that people want to go do instead of like, hey guys, we're gonna go have fun and we're gonna do XYZ and none of you asked for this, you know? And so I think I think that's a little bit different. And also we do like each other here. So I
Yeah.
think that helps.
No, yeah, sorry to put you on the spot on that, but I mean, it's so yeah. I think if somebody didn't come, that we would be like, wow, like there would be a conversation about that. But yeah, I think you put your finger on something really key is like the choice of what that fun looks like. We've done stuff. We worked with a company that they sent their entire team to Disney World. Like the entire team went on a whole trip to Disney World for like a week. The entire company did it. And talking to the owner later about it, and he did it like as a surprise. Like I'm going to surprise everybody, and we're going to go to Disney World. Like I don't know how he coordinated schedules and stuff like that. Didn't get into that level of detail. But what he talked about afterwards was he did get some pushback from the team of like wow, that was a lot. Like that's not. I'm glad we did Disney World, but I also like don't not sure I wanted to do that with you guys. You know, that kind of a thing. So it can go too far. Like we've done retreats. We did a whole retreat where we flew our whole team up to Seattle when right after what's her name? Diana moved sorry, right after Diana moved to Seattle. It was Seattle and Diana. It was throwing me. I was like Seattle.
Seattle.
Diana, Seattle. Yeah, that was throwing me off. Sorry, Diana. We've only worked together for over a decade. It's fine. But yeah, we flew like our whole team up there. We did a trip where we flew our whole team to Louisville and spent some time out there and done that. More recently, like just in the conversations, Bethany, like you talked about it, we put it out and say, hey, we're going to have a team retreat. It's going to be about this time of year. What kinds of things do we want to do? And we take the team's feedback not like in the form of a survey even, and we make it as a conversation of like, well, I'd like to do this, like to do this. More recently, we've decided to stay closer to home because a lot of people have family things. We've been traveling a lot as a team, and adding one more travel trip to everybody's schedule right after we've gotten out of a heavy travel season doesn't sound like a lot of fun, except for Diana, who doesn't get to travel as much and is happy to travel to Springfield and see her old friends and all the people there.
Yep.
So yeah, I think there's some of that as the autonomy piece, where maybe Diana, the story you shared before the previous job, didn't sound like you had any choice or any say or any autonomy or voice into what the fun was.
Yeah, it was planned for us, told when we had to be there, what we were expected to do, and it was I know the intent was good, but we were all very tired and didn't really want to do a scavenger hunt in a limo in 100-degree heat. It was an odd choice.
I love the idea of the limo thing jumped out to me a little bit. I was like, that's a cool idea. But yeah, no one's asked for that. No one's leaned into it.
No.
Maybe it will.
Maybe next
somebody
time
will.
Bethany will be like, we now need a limo.
It's probably because I drive an Accord, a Honda Accord, and probably people are used to that kind of level of luxury. They're probably already used to it.
All the time, so
It's pretty much the same thing. And if you sit in the back seat, there's lots of space back there. So it's kind of the same. And sometimes I have like drinks in there. You don't know. Not alcoholic drinks, but like, a little water or something for people. Kombucha, whatever. We're not judging. We just do what we do. So as we think about like what does our time spent together from our side do for us? Like we've talked about that a little bit. What does that extra time and that fun do for our team? Where does it turn into productivity, or is it like a perk? Is it why you work there? Like Diana, the way you talked about it was like we work all year long and then we get this little thing. I was thinking of Stanley Hudson, like in The Office in his pretzel day. Like he's like, every day I come here to work and I have to do all the hard stuff, but pretzel day, I like pretzel day. Like that kind of like that's the day you're working towards. Is it like that, or does the fun like feed into us? Again, these are all risky questions as the owner of the company.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think that for me, because I am the only remote person, it feels really good to be around everybody. And I had, man, I don't know. I think Stephanie had worked for us for a long time before I had physically met her. And I just, just meeting her and being with her and being able to like connect with her a little bit made our working relationship that much better. We do a good job of doing it remotely and building in time to like connect with each other and do that really intentionally, but there's something about being in the same physical space, sharing food, uh rubbing shoulders, it's just different. And I think being able to connect with our team in that way makes it easier for me to work with people. So that's really selfish, but it does help. It helps me have a better relationship with our team and be able to work better when I'm remote.
Yeah, Bethany, I've heard you say like the relationships that we make on those trips and the conversations builds into the relationships that we then have with each other when we work with clients and how we work together.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think it builds, trust with each other too. And we just enjoy each other. It just makes it easier to like pull people into different spaces or to be willing to, ask somebody for support in different areas and things like that. But yeah, I think for everybody, us and other organizations, it's like we just all, you get caught up in your work and you're with the people, but you're not really like always sitting and like being with them and like knowing what's happening in their world and like remembering who they are as a human outside of like the workplace a little bit too. And so I think that having that time, like I always look forward to it too. Our calendars have been just packed. And so I was looking ahead at like, oh, like the last 2 days this week, like I'm really excited to spend time with everybody and just get to like be. And even though I love, anytime I can pull Stephanie or Philip or Diana or Dawn into a meeting and we're all together in just a meeting talking about work, that's cool. But it's also nice to be able to sit with everybody and talk about stuff not related to work. And that's really cool too. And to have that time to set aside and just like do that and be together in that way it's good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it strikes me, and I haven't thought about it like this before. We've talked about how like old school management philosophy was almost to get disengagement from people, right? It's like you have a obligation to the company. Like if you watch old movies from like the 50s and stuff, that you always hear like management, like you have an obligation to the company that employs you, and we demand loyalty. And it's that kind of a thing. And the whole philosophy around that is like to break people like a horse. So then you show up to work disengaged. And then at some point in management philosophy, we discover like, no, if we let people come to work and figure out how they want to do their job a little bit and give them some autonomy within their job, you can get engagement. But at the same time, when we invented, just like when you invented the ship, we invented the shipwreck at the same time, right? We invented engagement, you also invent toxicity, right? So if you're engaged at work, which you have higher productivity, like Gallup looks at that, says you're much more productive if you're engaged. But if you're toxic, it also has you like it's worse. Like it's actually not only does it lower your productivity, it lowers the productivity of the people around you. I kind of think of fun as the same way, as almost like a personal engagement level, right? So if you start doing like fun events at work, you could introduce fun, but you could also introduce anti-fun, and it could have a backlash. So it's like I'm thinking of different companies coming at this. So if your company, if you're sitting here listening to this saying, my company is not fun at all, there's nothing fun, whether I own it or I'm an employee in it, like what are we saying? Are we saying, well, you should go get some segways and jump in, or go rent a limo, or go to a retreat, or go check out a cave, or go antique shopping? Like where do you start with fun if it's not fun right now?
Yeah, I think, well, part of the conversation before is like the example of the Philly Justice, Amy Poehler's, like their sort of spin-off show that they did just for fun, was basically like they were using their craft and their skill to do, and they just applied it in a different way. And they said, like, this just sounds fun. Like, we're not trying to make money off of this. We're not trying to like put it out for anybody to see. Like, we're just going to enjoy doing this. And we thought this was a cool idea to apply our talents and abilities and things like that toward this. So I think there's a little bit of like thinking about like the work that you do. And one is like, is it inspiring to you? Like, why did you get into the work that you got into originally? And I think sometimes you like lose sight of that in the day to day. And so I think some of it's like figuring out like what is it that inspired you to do the work that you're doing right now? Like, what's your why? And if you were just going to have fun with that, what would that look like? And is it, and maybe it doesn't move you away from the work that you're doing right now or the projects that you have, but maybe it would, I don't know, it could adjust, like maybe your focus is on the wrong thing within your work. And that inspiration guides you to say like, hey, maybe we're focusing on the wrong things if we're not having fun at work. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's like, no, this thing is that we're doing is like, not only is it really profitable, it's really necessary, it's really helpful, this is something we need to do, but maybe we should be applying the things that we're doing in another space just because we want to have fun and we think we have the ability to do it. And I think that could look different for lots of different organizations and roles.
That's really good because it starts with the engagement. It starts with like the person, and it starts with each individual person. You can make a big impact. We were talking ahead of time, one of our clients, and I'll give him a shout out if he's listening, Diego. Like Diego and Sharon work together at a company that we work with. And since Diego has started, he's very jovial, he's very funny. He likes to tell jokes, and he doesn't have to like, we're not talking about he's not setting up carnivals or inviting clowns or anything, Bethany's clown friends over for drinks or anything like that. They're just joking about things just in their regular interactions. And he has made a significant shift in their culture because Sharon kind of has picked up on that, and Sharon's jokes around back. And Diego likes to be a little bit cocky in his jokes, and Sharon likes to kind of knock him down a level. And it's really fun how that, and others on their team have kind of jumped into that. So it's just like anything on leadership, we influence each other on a day-to-day basis. If we show up and we kind of push a little bit, I think about like when I first started at 3M, I started up at the corporate office, and it was this giant office that had cubicles. And it was so like engineers working in cubicles on design projects throughout the country. And it was so dead. I walked in, and it was just the level of like energy was just so low. And like you talk to people and they're just lost in their drawings and doing their thing. And I just thought, man, like this place just needs a little bit of conversation, just a little bit of fun on things. And so there was one guy that was next to me who I had talked to. He was a very nice guy. We ended up hanging out a little bit and stuff. And one day I just stood up and I looked at him and I just pulled up a Nerf gun and shot him with the Nerf gun a few times. And then just sat down and went back to work. And then like 3 days later, he comes, says, Don, I have a question for you. And then he produces his own Nerf gun and unloads on me. And then suddenly somebody else brought a Nerf gun. And then suddenly the three of us, and we weren't running around. Like if we'd started running around the office, it would have been too hard on the culture. Like they weren't, you kind of have to do a little bit quietly. You kind of have to you have to meet your people where they are, right? If they're not used to doing that, you can't just suddenly go crazy with it. You have to take small steps on it. The one thing we haven't talked about though is like, why is this good? Is this good for the company at the end of the day? Bethany, you talked about like building relationships. Remind me, Gallup just came out with their State of the World's Workforce that they come out with every couple of years. And one of the things they talk about in that report is that if you were only going to do one thing as a company, it would be have personal conversations with your employees on a regular basis. That's it. If you were going to do one thing to improve engagement, it's that. And but I think it reminds me kind of what you were talking about going back, like those conversations, that time we invest in each other. Let's talk about like that, the relationship side, but also like the productivity side. I mean, it's got to have a negative impact on productivity, right? If we're spending time joking around.
I mean, it probably does. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I mean, so yes, I'm not working when I'm joking around, but I will say that, don't tell anyone, but I work harder for the people that I like. I just do. And so if I like you and you need something, you're going to get it from me. But if I don't like you and you need something, it's probably going to take me some time. That's a real big project that you just asked for. I'm going to have to shift some things around, take a minute. And so I think I don't think I'm the only one that does that. I think that is probably pretty common. And so I think when you have a team that actually enjoys each other, that understand each other, that's built those relationships, that team is going to work better together because they all like each other and want to do well for each other.
I think it's like a short-term productivity loss for a long-term productivity gain, you know.
Yeah, I like that. That was Diana, you said you're not very quotable recently to me, and I'm like, you crushed that. That was very quotable. I work harder for people that I like. That's a universal human trait, whether you acknowledge it or not. And Bethany, I like what you just said too about the productivity side of it. It's a short-term productivity loss. Yes, if you're having fun, you're not producing the thing that you're producing. But when you go back to work, you're going to produce it better. And there's plenty of studies that show just from in terms of productivity side, if you sit at your desk or you're at work or you're on the production line and you're doing a thing and you're doing that thing over and over and over and over and over again, or you're just trying, it's nose down, your productivity is dropping after a certain point. And it's not very long. It's after like an hour, your productivity starts to drop. And it drops and drops. And now you feel like you're productive because it takes more energy for you to dive in. So you're thinking, I feel like I'm working really hard. But oftentimes we get lost in how productive do I feel versus how productive am I actually being? And we feel super productive when we work 8 hours and put our nose to the grindstone all day. And we feel less productive when we have fun and we have some conversations on the side. But the facts are, whenever you do have a little bit more fun and you take some time to think about and let your brain kind of shift gears a little bit, when you go back to the work, you're actually more productive, which actually ramps up things through the day. I'm thinking about a company I had read about a long time ago, so I'm not even going to cite the source for this or anything else, but they had some kind of a job where everybody was doing some kind of a desk job and they were measuring productivity. They could absolutely measure it. And they had shut off everybody's access to social media because it's like, oh, you're wasting time on Facebook. Don't look at YouTube. Don't look at the news and everything else. Well, then they decided, a lot of the employees were like, hey, we'd just love to check our Facebook pages every once in a while or check the news or just like, it's just change of direction. So they did an experiment and they turned it on to see how much it would damage productivity. And productivity skyrocketed. Like it didn't just go up a little bit, it went up a lot. And it's just like, if you think about it, if you're sitting down there working and you have 3 hours or 4 hours of working, at the end of the 3 hours and you go back and you reread the same sentence 5 times, or you get lost on something or you start to make mistakes, that's your brain being tired. If you take a second, say, I'm going to go focus on this other thing just for a second, or have a conversation with somebody, or we're going to laugh about something. When you come back, you're a lot more focused and you can do a lot more. So there's even a productivity argument for having fun in the office. Like you could be productive too. Or if you're like Diana and you think that like work is fun, you can integrate that stuff, right?
We do like GIFs, whatever you want to call them.
Oh, yeah, gifts.
Are
We
fun.
gifts. We have a lot of fun in our water cooler conversation with just back and forth GIF banter.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. Yeah, it helps us to build relationships. It helps us be more productive, all the things. So I think we're pro fun. We're a pro fun team.
Fun. We're
I mean,
and something. Go
I
ahead.
don't know about all the way pro fun, but
Not all the time, but sometimes we like to a little bit because we know it's good for productivity.
Okay,
Bethany's more fun than
yours.
me.
One example we didn't talk about on here, but we talked about before we got on here too, was the band album that was created sometimes really creative.
We somewhere out there, I could probably find it if I tried, but me, Dawn, and Bethany Bishop were at some 90s event. Man, I don't even remember what it was. It was some like 90s trivia event, I think. And we dressed up in 90s outfits. And then they had this like fun backdrop and we took a picture. And the picture was like, it looked like a 90s grunge band album. And I forget what we called ourselves. But we came up with a whole thing, we had a whole album with songs, the names of the songs.
Communication was one of them.
Communication was such a good song name.
That was a good one. I went as far as recording a couple of
You did.
the tracks for the songs.
You did.
Just to throw that out there. I mean, it just and It was fun because like our team did the trivia thing. So like several of us were at that and had fun with that. And then we took the picture and then we saw that. And then that became just like we shared that with the team. And then it kind of ran down the road just like the Amy Poehler story. Like it was just kind of a release. Like it wasn't like our team stopped everything and dropped every client that we're doing and didn't hit any deadlines for 3 weeks while we tried to come up with the what names would be on this 90s album and what songs should go with it and all everything. But we just had fun with it of just trying to like, okay, this is kind of a funny name. What would go into this? What would the album cover look like? What would our names be? Like, what's the story of the band? What would the breakup of the band look like? I mean, I think we just had lots of conversations that went all the way down that. That's a lot of fun. Uh, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's weird to talk about fun. It's weird to talk about fun as just like a fun thing. We had a good time, good times, good times.
But I also think like people need an outlet to be creative, and different creativity is different for everyone, right? Like my version of creativity is different than Bethany's version of creativity. But if neither one of us had the space to be creative or to do fun things that we enjoyed, even at work, then we're missing part of ourselves. And I think that diminishes the work that we do at work.
That's well said. Well said. So I think we're on the pro fun team. Like I think, and not just because it's like you should let your employees have fun, but because it's actually good for productivity, right? We used to say a lot, passion is productive. And whenever you allow your team to be to lean into their passions and to lean into their fun and to build relationships with each other and build relationships as a manager and your employees and employees with each other and back up and down, that just helps the team to come together and then be more productive, be better at their jobs, be more engaged. So that is a major thought shift for a lot of folks. And if you're not there, if you're going, my company is not fun and we never do that, don't jump in with both feet. Be careful. Like take small steps to start off with it. Like just maybe it's think about the engagement side first. Think about how do I get people to be a little creative about the work process a little bit? How can we have fun just a little bit in our interactions? Don't show up and say, okay, we're going to do a joke of the week. Everybody tell a joke. Go. I mean, just be careful. Like you don't want to push it on people. The images don't push it, like pull it. Like allow for it to happen, and it will naturally come up. People are creative, and we have fun with each other. So, all right. Thanks for joining us on this episode. We had fun. Everybody. Diana, thanks for letting me pick on you again.
It's fine. I'm gonna organize your pantry when I'm in town. It's gonna be fun.
It's funny because Diana said, I like organizing a pantry. Just come into town. I have a pantry. It's already pretty organized. Diana's going to look at it and go, it's not, but it is pretty organized.
Why are there no labels?
Yeah, there should be more labels. My whiskey bar has labels. That does have labels.
Oh, does it?
So that's impressive.
I like that you have a label maker. That makes my heart happy.
A label maker. I could get behind that.
Yeah.
Boy. So get a label maker and have fun at the office.
Have fun.
That's fun. So we'll see you next time. Have fun.
Thank you for listening to the People Centric Podcast. We are so grateful for you joining us every week. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Also, feel free to share on your social media with everyone that you know. It really does help us. If you would like to contact us, I have put our information in the show notes. Please reach out anytime. We love hearing from you. We will be back next week with a new topic. Until then, be well and lead well.